Greetings, everyone. On the class of the 29th seal of the MahaKaruna Dharani mantra practice, Mudra, the seals. Today's a mouthful. Today is quite a spectacular mantra. Namo Ratna Trayaya Hanavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Of course, first time I say it on video it doesn't work, but since yesterday it was fine. Am I getting camera nervous? No. Hello, Annette. Long time no see. So today we focus on soft joy to start the class. Like last class. Sometimes we want to focus only on peace and calm. Sometimes a bit of soft joy. Not necessarily because of these mantras, but because of the period of the year and the time. So I just said something, now I have to explain it. There seems to be stress before September, and I believe it is because worldwide there's a change in lifestyle. Kids are going back to school, vacations are over, and there's a normal increase in stress and in disagreements. It's important to be mindful of that, to focus on what good you get out of life, not just the difficulties, which is somewhat today's mantra. Simple mudra with my left hand. It's called the prayer bead mudra. Like if you're holding your mala like this, so there's the space of a bead between the finger. But if it's difficult to hold it, you can touch it. But the proper mudra is to get it close and relax there. Pinky in the pictures is straight, but that will cause one muscle tension right here, so relax it. Okay? Relax it. Don't want to spend 1 hour like this. Just relax it. And if you need to touch, you touch. So always relax your mudras. Don't put pressure on yourself. Okay? Namo Ratna Trayaya Omanavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Okay. We'll just take one step at a time. And we'll go through all of these words. Okay. Positivity. The virtue of hope. To focus on what is good. To not forget the blessings that you have. So, there are practices to eliminate negativity, to not focus on the curses and the problems. This practice is on positivity, to be grateful for what you have, and to welcome what is important, okay? And that is Namo Ratna Trayaya. Namo is salutations or welcome. Ratna is the treasures. Trayaya is the three of the previous word. Okay, so Ratna Trayaya means the three jewels of Buddhism. The three jewels of Buddhism is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I don't want to spend the entire class on these, so we'll just say them quickly, okay? The Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. There's a belief in the religious cults or the religious approach that counting on the Buddha is depending on Sakyamuni's help. Okay? The same way that the Christians are counting on Jesus. That is not accurate. In Buddhism, we focus on cultivating ourselves. So the jewel of Buddha is to awaken, to count on your own consciousness. Specifically, Buddha is the awakened one, or the one who is awakened. When you do an emotional integration, especially the first year that you practice, when you finally reach a state of liberation and you understand that it is your own ego, its mechanics that made you feel bad, and you realize something about yourself. Wow. Yeah, that's what pride made me do. That's what shame makes me do. That's what fear makes me do. About the denials, for example. And you have an awakening, and now you're super happy and liberated. You've dissolved some of the emotion of abandonment, rejection, and guilt. And your heart is lighter. Your guts are lighter. And you feel awakened. Remember how it feels when you do personal growth. That's the Buddha. Doesn't mean you're a Buddha when you have a feeling like that. But that's what the jewel of Buddhahood means. To count on this great feeling after liberation. The great benefit of personal growth and humbly looking at yourself. Admitting to yourself what you are, who you are. Taking responsibility for that. Mourning what you have to mourn. So that you can reach a state of awakening. Okay? That feeling of awakening is counting on the Buddha. Sometimes it's pretty hard to count on the Buddha because nothing inside you wants to Buddha, okay? So then we will count on the second jewel, the Dharma. The three jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The second jewel of the Dharma is when personal growth is hard, count on the wisdom. Apply the wisdom. That means self-observation techniques. And then you realize how helpful it is that you have these tools. How wonderful it is that you do have means to work with yourself. So you are grateful for the Dharma. And you practice it. You practice the Dharma so that you can eventually go back to the state of Buddha, or the state of awakening. It doesn't make you a Buddha, remember. The traps of the Vibhavapad or the Bhumis. The traps of wanting titles. Okay. Sometimes applying the technique just won't work. Because that trauma is too profound. That anger is too big. Self-hatred is more powerful than your own concentration. Did you sometimes try to do personal growth and within 10 seconds you're back thinking about your problem, not doing personal growth? More like bitching the other. Okay? Does it happen that you want to apply the Dharma, but the mechanics of your ego are strong and you can't even apply the Dharma? So much turbulence there is, and your mind goes back on your egocentrism. You're like, well, what about me? And they should not do that. Okay? Then you count on the Sangha. If you cannot count on the Dharma, then you count on the Sangha. The Sangha is your friends. It's your therapist. It's community. You count on them not only for therapeutical purposes. It's not just about having a friend to bring you back online. Sometimes it's also about entertainment, changing your mind. It's like, hey, you can't resolve that problem. Your ego is too dense. Change your mind. Speak to friends about the bad things, but also happy things, so that you will have a better chance at it, to calm yourself when personal growth doesn't work. Okay, so that is one way to explain Namo Ratnatrayaya. To welcome the treasure of awakening, to welcome the treasure of personal growth and wisdom, various wisdom, and to welcome the community, the friends, the friendship, to accompany you in the process. That is one way. Okay? And that is just one way that I explain it, specifically applied to the rest of the mantra. Okay? Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Okay. We'll explain each of these words. Another way to explain the three jewels is out of the context of personal growth. Simply grateful to have friends in the community, and grateful that we grow together. That's the Dharma part. And grateful that we're evolving. Everyone. That's the Buddha part. Okay? So applied to personal growth is first count on the result. Like, remember how great it feels when you awaken, to motivate you. And then apply the Dharma. And if you can't, get the help from friends. That's one way. The other way is be part of community and do your best. Spread the wisdom how you can. And accompany others in their own personal growth so they can reach the awakening. Then the three jewels is not for you. It's for the others. It's what you bring to community. It's how you spread the wisdom and how you contribute to evolution. Okay. Many ways to see it. Okay. All of this is Namo Ratnatrayaya. Good. So we're grateful for the three jewels. The first part, the first part of the mantra, it's like Namo Ratnatrayaya is before the mantra, and the mantra starts with Om. That's just my old ways of thinking. The first part, therefore, of the mantra was Namo Ratnatrayaya. The second part is Om Anavadi Vijaya. Making sure it's what I wrote here. Yeah. Anavadi. I tried to decompose that word. Is it Anavadi Is it Anavadi? Is it Anavadi? I just couldn't find it. How they came, because each of these components do not mean unlimited, or I did not comprehend how they made it. But in the dictionary, Anavadi means unlimited. Okay? So in terms of dictionary words or etymology, I don't understand how they got unlimited from Anavadi. But in Bija, there's a way to explain it. D is the anointment, like when you put oil on your crown or your third eye in a ritual, like the Christian baptism. Okay, it's D-H-I. Anava is to be in touch with many aspects of the world. Okay. Anava is, Ana is the power of nature, and Va is be in contact, be in touch. Okay. So Anavadi is to be given the blessings to have many opportunities in the world. Okay. So to be unlimited in that way. Vijaya then corroborates my interpretation of Anavadi, because Vijaya means success. Okay. So then it makes sense that Anavadi is unlimited in the sense of having access to all possibilities. Okay. Because, unlimited, limitless, without end, unchained, there's different words in Sanskrit for all of these. And they're all pretty close. Huh? In this case, Vijaya, some of you know Jaya means victory. So Vijaya means success. Jaya is victory when you feel opponents or something as an obstacle to climb it. If there's no opponent and there's no obstacle, then we use the word Vijaya. It is just success. There's no concept of victory in success, in the sense that there is no opposition, no opponent, no obstacle. It's just triumph as it is. Okay. Anavadi Vijaya, unlimited success. The Chinese usually would have explained this mantra with some egocentric version of you can achieve anything in society, or you can gain great wealth, okay, especially with the Siddhartha word that follows soon. But no, in this case, they explained it well. They explained it well. With a religious fashion in the book I wrote it, this practice is to be welcomed by the Buddhas of the 10 directions. Okay? The ability to be in touch with the Buddhas of the 10 planes. Okay. Cool. Because usually when you have the word Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha, it means to be extremely successful in accumulating wealth. If you have just that. But we have to remember that mantra started with Namo Ratnatrayaya. It's about the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Then it gives a direction to the rest of the mantra. It's all about personal growth and being welcomed by the Buddhas of the 10 directions, or having consciousness of the 10 Sephirot. Okay? being aware on the 10 planes. Let's continue. So Anavadi Vijaya is to have unlimited success with Namoratnatrayaya. Okay? It is to succeed in bringing what you can to the Sangha and getting the support you need from the Sangha. In acquiring this wisdom, in applying the wisdom for yourself and sharing the wisdom with others. To have all the possibilities open to you and have success. To be inspired by the Buddha and to awaken the Buddha in yourself. All right? So I was glad when I saw that the Chinese of the time actually explains about this high consciousness thing. And it's not for some personal gain at the financial or economic level. Because now I explain Siddhi Siddhartha. Siddhi is powerfully. Siddhartha, Artha means wealth, resources. Okay, so Siddhartha means to have a lot of wealth or to be efficient in the way you manage the wealth. Okay, so when you double the word Siddhi, Siddhi, okay, Siddhartha is the word Siddhi, Artha, and the Sandhi just brings it to Siddhartha. So Siddhi Siddhartha, there's a repetition of the word Siddhi, means a lot of success. Just to empower the efficiency of your perfection in wealth. But we remember now, the Artha of wealth, in this case, is the 3 jewels. The wealth of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. And not some physical wealth. Well, it can be physical wealth if it's in the process of the evolution. Yeah. So if we don't have the introduction to the mantra, Namo Ratnatrayaya, the rest of this mantra, Om Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha, it means unlimited success in being extremely efficient in acquiring wealth. Swaha. At least with the Swaha, we're gentle and grateful, if you want. The glory of that. So, yeah, if you really just want to focus on your wealth, it's not just physical wealth, it could be emotional and mental wealth. Just remove the Namo Ratnatrayaya and say the mantra itself. And eventually you might get some ego reaction about acquiring, accumulating, and attaining objectives. Okay, you might get stuck on those. But your financial wheel can roll. But like the Chinese did, I don't enjoy this mantra for just personal gain. I really like that it's Namo Ratnatrayaya in the beginning. So that the mantra is about being extremely successful in building a community, in having a wealth of Dharma, and successfully awakening yourself as the Buddha, and inspiring others to do so. And there you have the complete mantra explained. It's a lot of words in another language, so it's normal if you didn't follow everything. It's normal. You don't have all this fluidity with Sanskrit. Although I do not speak Sanskrit, I've learned enough to understand mantras. I just cannot dialogue in Sanskrit, like question and answers and stuff. I don't need to learn. Even if I go to India, it would be Hindi. Tamil, Pali, Telugu. I wouldn't speak Sanskrit. So it's normal if you can't follow all of these words, okay? Let's review one last time. Namo Ratnatrayaya is the salutations to the three jewels, which are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The three jewels of Buddhism means what really matters. If you're a Buddhist, what really matters for you is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And the physical wealth then it's a side effect. I like this mantra in a way that it removes greed. Because it brings your focus back on the three jewels. It reminds you all of this management of physical wealth. Be prudent, have enough to live. You can have a lot, you can have a little, and it's not really dramatic. Don't put so much importance on actual physical wealth if it's going to hinder the three jewels. But the three jewels themselves will want you to be prudent and be a functional member of society. A dude that I really like, his name is Richard Colmar, has been studying lots of Buddhism from any source, including mine. And he says, every time someone is super wealthy, that means someone else is really poor, or many others are really poor. He also explains, in a world of limited resources, if everyone was equal, we would all be comfortable poor. And that is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Okay? So that's a way for him to say, in the world of perfect equity, where everyone is the same, because the amount of resource in the world is limited, with the amount of population we have, everyone equally could have just a tad below middle class, comfortable with what we really need. And that would be a peaceful world, okay? It's a very Buddhist view. So I just mentioned it to say, if you're above comfortable poor, be grateful for what you have. If you have everything you want, and sometimes an excess here and there, be grateful for what you have, okay? But I have to share another point of view. And this one comes from Sakyamuni Buddha himself. The Sutra of Innumerable Meanings. You can be extremely wealthy, physically extremely rich, and be a bodhisattva. And contribute to the world, okay? So basically, if the Buddha says you can be poor and be a bodhisattva, but you can be extremely wealthy and be a bodhisattva. In the sutra, that is very important. It means that it's completely acceptable to have someone with a lot of wealth. Because the world is not just about pure equity for all. The world is also about karma, dharma, prakti. There is a difference between the experience that each of us wanted. So yes, there will be people with a bit more resources, and there will be people with a bit less resources. Virtue of equity is to care so that a minimum is offered to everyone, so that you don't have to go die alone under a bridge without medical care. Okay. So I wanted to share the view that is expressed by Richard Colmar, which is, he studied Buddhism of so many different traditions, that he has, in my perspective, a accurate Buddhist vision of the world. If it was not for this little detail, the opinion of Sakyamuni about it. But it's worth mentioning, because yes, if you're just a tad below middle class, but you have everything you need, you're good. You're in the blessing of Lakshmi, okay, in abundance already. So asking for more than that can be luck, can be karma, can be greed. We don't know. So I leave you to yourself. With that, Kolmar, Kolmar, I think, not sure. Doesn't matter. The Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. And then we pray to have all the possibilities to succeed in reaching the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Namo Ratnatrayaya, Anavadi Vijaya. Siddhi Siddhartha, the perfection of caring and in obtaining and then caring for these jewels. It is a profound desire for evolution. If there is a simple state of being to nourish, a feeling, it is to evolve successfully. And that means trust. The Vijaya, success, also means trust. I am evolving. I'm doing my best. I'm doing good. And I am evolving. I believe in evolution. I trust evolution. Now, sometimes I'm interacting with someone who is obviously less evolved than me. And I am happy with this person, with the contact, because I trust evolution. I know they will get better. Now, sometimes I'm in touch with someone who I feel is less evolved, but maybe is more. Because later in time, I've realized I was wrong. Most of the time, we feel that we're more evolved than the person in front of us. Most of the time. And I lived this, like all my training years, convinced that I was a more evolved being, okay, because I was a New Ager. I had the good crystals. I had read the good books. Until I met people. And then I applied the techniques, the wisdom, the Dharma. And I did personal growth. And I had no choice than to realize, before I had that awakening, I didn't have it. And then I look back and, there was more personal growth to do about the regrets of my mistakes. We forgive ourselves easily. Well, for me it was easy, maybe not for you. Hopefully it will be. We forgive ourselves for not knowing what we didn't know before we learned it. I say that sometimes. Regretting the mistakes we did in the past. Just because we had not realized that consciousness, that awakening, that wisdom. Okay? So going back on topic, all these times I was convinced to be more evolved than the person in front of me, until I realized that person could actually bring me something, consciously or not. Or that They were simply experiencing freedom, a different view. So I was not better. I was culturally different, and I judged the other culture. I was the one being xenophobic without knowing. Okay? So it is important to believe in evolution for yourself, but also others. Now, it does sound presumptuous, could be vanity, that I do believe I have done a lot of personal growth. And I see a lot of people who have not done a lot of personal growth. I don't believe I am more evolved than them. Although as a mathematical metaphor, maybe I am. Probably. I'm more evolved than most people encounter. Just because I've done so much personal growth. But I don't believe in this anymore. Being more evolved than the other. That's bullshit. When you believe in evolution, okay, when your Anavadi Vijaya is applied to the Ratnatrayaya, okay, the three jewels, you stop thinking in terms of who is more evolved. You have to delocalize that evolution. It's not about me because I've done personal growth and I look at my students or others believing that they will awaken if they work on themselves. We have to delocalize evolution. Okay? And feel the global perspective, or even more, the Mahajriya, the global gaze of the mind of Brahma. Evolution is happening. Is it you? Is it me? In the molecule, which atom was the first to compose and then the other? I mean, does it really matter? If what matters is that together we are in a movement of evolution. I'm sorry. I should have turned off the vibration of my phone before class. Together, we're evolving. Now, I want to assure you, I just had a reaction towards this, and someone calls me, which is an important call that I have to call back after that. And it's because of a reaction that I have, a disagreement that I have with society. And I decline again. They just call back. There's a reaction inside. Where I look at society, I think society is not evolved enough. I'm happy that that call just came in so I can share it immediately. It is one of the trials that I'm having now, okay, of society not agreeing with my methods. It's nothing dramatic. And it's hard for me to say, I don't agree with society, and that's my problem. I forgot to trust evolution because I decided not to trust society and trust evolution. Not to believe in it. You see, this is pretty hard. It's pretty hard because we constantly look at society from the top of our ivory tower like the world is not there yet. So pretentious that we forget that when we say, I trust evolution, and you look at individuals, but you would look at society like it is not good enough for me. The thing is, it is composed of all these individuals that you want to trust. It's difficult to delocalize evolution, to trust that the entire world is evolving and we can all contribute together to the evolution of the world, one individual at a time, and society in general. Good. You see, what we learned in the past mantra about not conceiving ourselves as an individual. I'll let you watch that class because I don't want to say don't believe you're alive. You are alive, of course. But don't conceive yourself as such an important individual. Now in this mantra, believe in the Dharma and that it will spread. Believing in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, actually, just believe in the three jewels. And trust that in time, all of this evolves. My karma is to be purified from my arrogance. And each time I don't agree with what society is doing right now with its opinions, I'm lacking faith. And I say that to myself every week. Why am I still fighting with this? Just let go. Jesus gave an example. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If his face is on the bill, just give him back the bill and work for your food. Well, it was a time where you could just work and get fed by the business that day. Doesn't work today. But the wisdom is still there. The disagreements with how resources are managed, I have to accept that society is currently doing a great thing. Society is doing a great thing because it wants to care for everyone equally. And then I pretend that I'm not the same as others, that society should do an exception for me because I'm a good guy, because I gave donations to others, because I've helped heal the sick, because I bought a fridge to a family who didn't have one, because I'm a cool guy, so everyone should forgive me my mistakes. You see the arrogance I have. So this call just came in. This guy says, oh, by the way, you have to refund us this and that because the law said so. And it's like, why do I argue with this? I just refund it. And I want to refund. I actually wanted to just flow with what was going on. But for a while I was arguing with, proclaiming injustice, forgetting the flow of wisdom. And then I realized. But of course the guy called when I was explaining something about it. So I still have my reactions. But I realized something great. Refunding the government something that I just have a different view of how the law is interpreted. Doesn't matter. If I give back money to society, it's going to pay for teachers, for vaccines, for medical care, for kindergarten. Do you understand? And then refunding the government money will be an act of charity without any proof, which is exactly what the Buddha explains in the Diamond Sutra. The 4th chapter of the Diamond Sutra. Get the highest liberation, the highest experience of happiness when you do an act of charity without any gratification to your ego. When you just do it for the pure sake of equity. And for that reason, I am at peace. And something in my subconscious wants attention. I'm a victim. I want to live equity and say, hey, I'm just going to give back money. It's not going to break me. It's not going to kill me. And it's going to be an act of charity because the system will give this to people who need it. And in my country, it's not going to go in corruption. It's going to go in the proper needs. Okay. So you see, I'm fighting my little local egocentrism. I'm glad that it shows during class. I'm glad because it gives me an opportunity to explain in very deep details small mechanics of the ego. Because it's so quick to shout injustice when in fact your karma just brings you to a next step in your evolution. And it's a beautiful thing. All right. Let's do 21 recitations. I'm going to, this one is not the fingers split, it's the 3 fingers equal. Hold the bead, pinky erected but relaxed for your health. And this is my left hand. With my right hand, I'm going to count. Okay. 21 recitations slowly. We want to feel the 3 jewels and then the high efficiency we have at experiencing them. Namo Ratna Trayaya Om Manavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Om Namo Ratna Trayaya Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Om Namo Ratna Trayaya Om Manavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Namo Ratna Trayaya Om Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. Just a bit slower. Namo Ratnatrayaya Om Anavadi Vijaya Siddhi Siddhartha Swaha. 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 Breathe and contemplate. Personal growth, trust evolution, success in experiencing the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the class. See you next week.